Feels like a big hug for your tummy.
No to bude big hug, vole, jdem se ještě to vaří, bude big hug okolo toiletu, vole. Tak to uveď.
Takže bžum lidi, my vás vítám od dalšího videa na tomto kanále a dneska si podíváme na to, jak říct envo, dneska si uděláme reakci na Easy Japanese Curry Rice, made with golden curry.
Tak jo, jdeme na to.
A jdeme jabata.
Nerozumím mu. Ty už jsi nikdy měl curry Japanese? Už to nikdy měl?
To jsem ještě neměl, ale chtěl.
Aha, to je zajímavý, já to taky ještě neměl. Jdeme dál.
Už je opravdu natáčíš.
Ne?
Aha.
Musíte mít velký kousky, OK? Ty bys to posral tak či tak, jdeme dál.
It's super easy to make and is so hearty, warm and comforting that it just feels like a big hug for your tummy.
No to bude big hug, vole, jdem se ještě to vaří, bude big hug okolo toiletu, vole.
At home or as a quick lunch that you can reheat the next day. And all you need are just a few simple ingredients. And if you stick around, I'll show you 4 special ingredients that'll really take this dish to another level. First, what we're going to need are onions.
Hele, potřeboval cibulku, karotku, brambor, česnečíček, máslo.
Česnek, to je máslo. A už neví.
Garlic, butter, water or stock, beef or other protein alternative, and some Japanese curry roux. This is the base for many Japanese.
A kde to vezmeš tady to?
To je bujon, kokot.
Není, to je to curry.
Curry dishes, and is actually an incredible substitute for homemade roux. You can find different brands in any Asian supermarket.
Vidíš, to je to curry. A to prostě neseženeš, vole, asi.
Čiky, vole. Albert Golden.
No, Albert, ty vole, už vůbec ne, ty vole, to musíš květancům, prostě, na tady je to.
No tak zajdeš květnancům, vole, kamo.
No to jo, ale...
Ty vole, kamo, místo pro větnamce, pičo. Vole. Kámoška, natáčej.
To je neskutečný. Je 12 hodin večer. Máme hlad. To je jak čokoláda. Víš? To já bych to toho kousnul. No já bych do toho kousnul. No asi. Ty vám, jsem schválně.
Get a mix.
Co to dělá? O, to mám divnou škrabku.
To hold up very well in stews and don't fall apart like russet potatoes typically do. Let's then soak our potatoes in a bowl of water.
To je velice důležitý, to vždycky dělají.
For 15 minutes in order to remove any excess starch. Then let's peel our carrots and cut them into bite-sized chunks as well. I'm using diagonal cuts here, which helps the carrots better absorb the flavors.
Takhle tak krájím, ale když se snažím krájet rovně.
Cook more evenly. Next, let's slice our onions into 1/2-inch wide slices. I like keeping them relatively big for the texture, but you can chop them into smaller pieces if you like the sauce to take on a stronger onion flavor. Then let's finely mince our cloves of garlic.
Víš, tak polovina palce.
And for our protein, I'm using beef, but you can also use chicken, tofu, or chickpeas as substitutes. I'm using cubed stew beef here, but I use chuck roast if you can find it because it's marbling and great for stews. Let's make sure.
Když tam říkal jakýkoliv protein, tak tam klidně ty vole dej jogurt.
To pat the beef cubes dry and sprinkle on some salt. Now these ingredients alone will give us a simple, classic Japanese
dáváme, takže.
Ne.
But if you'd really like to level up the taste of your sauce, I recommend adding 4 additional ingredients to really enhance the flavor. A tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a tablespoon of ketchup, a tablespoon of honey, and an apple.
To jabko tam nebudu dávat, vole, ten dezert kokot.
Adding grated apple and honey to the sauce is going to give it that sweet signature flavor that is a staple for Japanese home-cooked curry.
Aha.
Once we've got all of our ingredients prepped and ready to go.
Japanese.
Tak to zajímavé.
Home cook.
Ty vole, jak se tam zítra tak se skočím květancům, kousneme to curry, vole.
We can now start cooking.
Golden curry, jo, nesmím.
First, preheat a big pot with vegetable oil over medium heat. Once it's heated, let's add our beef chunks to the pot and give it a quick sear for about 2 minutes just to get the sides a bit browned, but not fully cooked.
Cože?
Což toho masa je strašně málo.
Ale když to má na jednu porci, ne, on je sám chudák.
Aha. A já jsem taky sám volár, či si tam dám víc masa, vole.
Aha, dobře.
Tak se na později, chápeš? Já si porcí na později, na celý den třeba.
Já on to vyndáváte, má o tom ještě červený. Jo, not fully cooking them, ale chápu.
And then add our butter to let it
You're
melt
not
for a
fully
few
cooking
seconds.
them.
followed by our onions, which we'll saute for about 8 minutes until they become caramelized. Give it a few stirs, but make sure not to over-stir so that it can caramelize properly. Once they've become translucent and slightly browned, let's add our minced garlic and saute for 30 seconds. We're then going to add our carrots and potatoes into the pot and give it a stir for 30 to 60 seconds. Then we'll add our beef chunks back, along with 5 cups of water, making sure that the water just barely covers the potatoes and carrot. Let's add our grated apple, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and honey. Give it a stir, and then cover with a lid in order to simmer on medium heat for about 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. Once it comes to a boil, we can
kanál Požírači žrádla.
Hele, kámo, úplně business, vole, jako enterprise.
Residue from the top layer.
Požírači LTD.
Cože, to LTD?
Jako limited, chápeš, jako firma.
Jaha.
Bro.
Jo, jasně.
Start píčo, tam on neznal,
pierce through one of the potatoes to see if it goes through. If it's still a bit too hard, continue cooking until the wooden stick pierces through easily.
Dobře.
Once cooked, let's turn off the heat and add our curry roux to the pot. In order to help it dissolve quicker and easier, I like individually dissolving each block by submerging the ladle in water and mixing it with chopsticks. I find this is the easiest way to make sure you get a smooth
už mám chuť si to udělat.
consistency in your sauce, but you can also cut up your blocks into smaller pieces and mix it all in at once. You'll start to see the sauce darken and thicken up fairly quickly. Once all of the curry roux has been dissolved and mixed, turn your pot back on to medium-low heat and simmer for about 15 minutes until the curry thickens, while making sure to stir frequently so that it becomes this thick, velvety, smooth consistency. It was rated the #1 best traditional dish in the world. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Kámo, podle mě, jako fakt kdybychom na tom dělali reakci, tak podle mě fakt tam je strašně málo. Kámo, uvaříme to.
A když jsme na to teďko dělali reakce reálně. Takže to bude konec videa, borci. Jestli vám to líbilo, dejte like, odběr, dislike, komentář, pošlete to babičce, mámě, dědovi, nazdar.
Kde jsem? Kurva, kde jsem byl těch celých 5 minut?